Hey guys, I'm back with another video. Today I'm going to be talking about my 2030 price prediction for Oatly. In my previous video I gave a price prediction, but that one was fairly conservative, and this is more of my realistic price prediction. So I'm just going to jump right into it. So right here we have an estimated global dairy products market size of $642 billion by 2030, and the plant-based dairy sales are supposed to have a 10% penetration of the total dairy market, according to research. So a 10% penetration of $642 billion would make this total market $64 billion by 2030. Now, right now, alternative milk is by far the largest component of the plant-based dairy market, accounting for about 75% of sales. So if we assume those numbers to stay the same, which I think they'll stay relatively the same, because it's kind of harder to replace other stuff such as like cheese and butter. Right now, the main alternative use cases for plant-based dairy is yogurt and ice cream, but there's not really that much cheese and butter. So I'm just going to assume this number stays the same or around the same, and that makes the total market for plant-based dairy products $48 billion by the year 2030. Now, if oat milk makes up 78% of the total plant-based milks in 2030, that's my assumption, then and we take the $48 billion plant milk market, then that makes a $37 billion oat milk market in 2030. And then if I think that Oatly will have around a 25% market share globally in that, so that would give Oatly a $9.36 billion market opportunity for oat milk. And then here I'm assuming that Oatly can also capture 25% market share in the other dairy products. Right now they do have yogurt and ice cream, so and they'll probably have more products in the future, so I think they're doing well. So I'm going to give them another $3 billion opportunity there for a total of $12.48 billion market share in oat-based dairy. Now, right now, they're expected to do revenues of $938 million in the year 2022, and in 8 years in 2030, we're assuming that they're going to be doing $12.48 billion. So that's a compounded annual growth rate of 38% year over year, and how much revenues they're doing. And I think that's pretty in line with the growth that Oatly has had and the growth that oat milk is having across the world and in the United States. I actually think it might grow a little more, but I think this number is pretty close at least. Now, Oatly has put out that they expect to have long-term EBITDA of 20%. That's their long-term goal. So, I expect them to reach this around 2030. They might reach it earlier, but at least by 2030 they should be reaching this 20% EBITDA. So that would give us $2.496 billion in EBITDA. And then, after taxes and everything, I'm gonna say that they have almost $1.5 billion in profit. So, and then I'm also assuming that they're going to have an 8% share dilution per year. Right now they have almost 600 million shares in 2022. I expect them, here, if they have an 8% share dilution per year, with like share-based compensation and everything, then they would have around 1 billion shares in 2030, which would give them an earnings per share of $1.36. Now, if they have a 4% share dilution per year, then that would make for 810 million shares in 2030, or an earnings per share of $1.84. And this scenario could also happen if maybe they have the 8% share dilution per year, and then they start hitting profitability. Like, let's say they started hitting profitability in like 2026, or they had like good profitability in 2026, and then they would actually start buying back shares, so that would take away the dilution. So that's how we could also hit this 810 million shares, which I see as a more likely scenario, because this is a pretty long time span, 2030. In the short term though, I do see I expect share dilution. Now, if we take the $12.48 billion in revenues in 2030, and we use a forward price to sales ratio of 3, that would give us a $37 billion market cap, and then we divide that by the number of outstanding shares at 8% dilution, and that would make the stock price $34. Now, if we only had a 4% share dilution rate, then that would put the stock price at $46. And then similarly, if we use a forward price to sales ratio of 5, that would make the stock $56 with an 8% share dilution, and then a 4% share dilution, then that would put the stock at $77. I see this as the most likely scenario, but anywhere honestly between 56 and 77 is what I'm thinking. So maybe like somewhere in between would be 65. But I think definitely this number, we should be hitting this by the year 2030. If we didn't, then I would be a little bit disappointed. But even if we hit this $34, that would still be really good, because I would put us at almost a 7x from the price that we are right now. So right now, if we take the current share price of $5 and we hit $34, that'd be 26% compounded annual growth rate. And then if we hit $77 in this scenario, then that would be a 40% compounded annual growth rate. So regardless, these numbers are really, really, really good. But yeah, those are my thoughts on Oatly. Let me know what you guys think. Do you guys think that this stock is valued at more than what I'm putting, or do you think maybe it'll be worth less? Just let me know your thoughts.